I'm Kate Lee, Executive Director of Education and Workforce for the South Bend Regional Chamber, and I'm excited to welcome Tyler Kanciszewski. I think I did that right. Never-ending challenge. Vice President of Marketing and Sustainability at Innovative Solar as our guest for this chat. So let's get started. Thanks for being here, Tyler.
Thanks, Kate, for having me, and welcome all. Exciting. We're getting into Halloween, so good fall colors, and
it's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. So happy to talk to you guys a little bit about my background and the industry I'm in, and some of the movement around renewable energy.
Yeah. You want me to start? I'll jump in with my first question. It's like the one that we start with, like about your first job. So I might have pre-questioned Tyler on some of this, so I might know some of the answers, but not all of them. So what was your first job? How old were you? And what did it teach you that you use in your job today?
Yeah, so my first job was high school, working for my grandpa, doing work in a warehouse. And it was more of a summer job. And I did demolition projects, just clean up, painting. But I was basically a maintenance guy for the summer at his warehouse where they were renting out space up in Cassopolis, Michigan. So yeah, it taught me how to be on time, because even my grandpa would get on me, if I wasn't showing up on time.
As he should.
Yeah. And just work ethic, keeping the space clean, and beautification. I'm big into like environmental stuff, so it kind of help, carve a framework around beautification and, keeping your building clean and stuff like that.
And also like that early awareness that every job's important.
Yeah. Yep. I've been able to pull little things out of each job.
Yeah, that's great. So how did you find your way to Innovatus?
So I graduated from Holy Cross College here in South Bend in 2012. And Innovative Solar was started by my father, a professor from Notre Dame, and my brother, TJ. And it started in about 2008. So in 2012, the company was starting to take off, and there was some positions open. They knew I was passionate about, environmentalism, renewable energy, kind of being family business in a way. So luckily there was an open spot in our distribution department. So I took that as my first job out of college and stayed in town.
So what did you do in that first job? What was the day like for you?
So I like to say I started from the ground up at Innovative Solar. So I worked in the warehouse again.
There's a trend here.
Yeah, there's a trend. Yeah, my warehouse experience was not quite over. I needed a little bit more. So I was driving a forklift, moving materials around in our warehouse, or we called it our supply house for solar equipment. And essentially I was packing orders for people that wanted to put solar on their homes or on their business buildings. And we would stock equipment as a distributor of solar equipment, and then pack orders in our warehouse in South Bend. And we don't do that so much anymore. So that was kind of when that division was still relevant and growing. I was helping lead that distribution arm of our company.
And then what did you do next? Where did you move from distribution?
So I started getting more into sales and development, and started focusing more on essentially bigger jobs. Our company has grown to take on bigger solar rooftop projects and ground mounts in the Midwest. So I was becoming more passionate about some of the bigger projects we were doing. So my role changed over more to a sales focus, and then slowly evolved into marketing from there. And then that's when I decided I went back to school to do a graduate program at Grand Valley State in Grand Rapids. I did an MBA master's in business administration with a sustainability focus. And
Something that didn't even exist probably 20 years ago. Like that sustainability focus is relatively new in post-secondary.
Yep. Yeah. More and more college programs, I think, are offering sustainability minors or majors. So I saw an opportunity there to do graduate school and focus a little bit more in how to run a sustainable business as my roles were evolving within the company and I was growing with the company.
Nice. And you said it's a family business, so obviously sustainability was kind of ingrained into you. But as the sustainability movement has gone forward and the solar industry is growing, are there special skills, certification, education required that is also emerging with that you could recommend to people who are interested in moving into a career in solar or the sustainable industries?
So for sure, obviously college degrees, just doing a business program, a finance program, doing sustainability, like IUSB here in South Bend has a sustainability minor. So you have those programs, and then if you wanted to get more into the labor side of things, or the trades, you have electrical installation or mechanical installation. So if you actually want considered installing solar panels or equipment within renewable energy, you could look at trade schools even. So some of the people that we work with have gone to trade school. There's plenty of certifications within the industry. Like once you get into the solar industry, there's different certifications you can go after to improve and evolve. But I'd say the biggest thing would just be education in general around business and college. Anything college has to offer can help with a solar renewable energy job.
So if somebody was interested in getting their foot in the door into green jobs, that there was an interest, they weren't exactly sure what direction they wanted to go, would there be a recommendation of a first step if you weren't going to go straight to college when you got out of high school, or some short-term kind of courses you could take to really get started? What kind of jobs locally do you see related to that?
So I know speak of ISB again, I know they have a sustainability certificate that you can do. And I think that's only a couple months of class. It's a little, there's a less requirement compared to a degree program, a minor. And some of our folks at Innovative Solar actually did that certificate. So that can certainly be helpful. I know a lot of schools have certificate programs too, where it's almost like a minor, but it's they call it a certificate program. So that would be something to consider. That could be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it might point you in a different direction, right? I always think about sustainability is probably a good companion with even engineering. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's another, you bring up a great point. So Innovatus does have an engineering department. So we do electrical design work for a lot of the solar projects that we're doing. And some of our folks are PEs, professional engineers. So they've gone to school for engineering. So that's certainly another big one that I forgot. Thank you for bringing that up.
I have notes.
Yeah, definitely engineering, whether it's electrical, mechanical, there's great schools like Purdue for engineering that can certainly help you with renewables. And if you want to go the engineering route, absolutely.
So let's talk about a local project that students could actually see. That's something that Innovatus has been involved with, which is honeysuckle, right?
Yeah.
There's the current project. Talk a little bit about that project, what it involves, where it is. So if students wanted to actually take a look at one of your projects, and then all the different jobs that are required to actually make that solar array happen?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a great project that's starting. Honeysuckle, it's in St. Joe County. I believe it's going to be upwards to like 1,000 acres, something around that, of solar material, of solar panels.
And it's the New Carlisle area, to give everybody, west part of the county.
Yep, closer to New Carlisle. So it hasn't started construction yet, but it will very soon. It's going to be mobilized here, I believe, in the next couple months. So there is a goal for Indiana labor, for Indiana equipment, since it's in Indiana, trying to support Indiana economy. So we've been excited to kind of represent Indiana and create more jobs in Indiana. So I'm not sure of the exact numbers or exact amount of labor force that will be there on site, but hundreds of folks. And so we're going to use, and this is kind of private information, but I trust everybody. We're going to be using Kuntz Wagner, and they're an electrical contractor in South Bend, and they're also union. So there's going to be quite a few folks through Kuntz Wagner. Again, I think hundreds of people will be at that site, and then folks from our company, Innovatus. Our company's over, well, we're around 40 people now. So we're going to have probably 5 people dedicated to that site, and then the Light Source BP is the developer of the project, and they have another 5 or so people dedicated to that job. So just on this job alone, you're talking, over 210 jobs, probably something like that, over a year-long period.
So Innovatus does the engineering and project management, right? And then some procurement, is that?
Yep. Yeah, essentially we're what you call EPC in the solar industry. So we engineer and design a layout. We procure all the equipment, and then we hire builders to build it for us, and then we manage the build. Basically, like if you were building a new house, Kate, like you would hire like my company to build your house, and then we would bring in the drywaller, the plumber, and the different people, and then obviously the designs of the house. Like we could help you with all of that. So we'd be like a general contractor in that sense.
Speaking of houses, so I want this whole crowd to know that you live in one of those cool tiny houses.
Yeah.
So talk about and it's solar. I'm right? Solar.
Yep. I have solar on it. Yeah.
So what's the experience like living in a tiny house? And what is the best part about living in a tiny house?
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. It's so I'm right off Portage Road, pretty close to downtown, right by the botany shop. It's a new plant shop. A little plug for the botany shop.
It's very cool. So many plants.
Yeah, and
that I would kill, so I don't buy any of them.
Yeah, I know. They help me save plants for sure, and they help me plant my outside vegetation. So I try to do pollinator habitat outside. So it's a 600 square foot home, and I've started to call it an eco house because it is very energy efficient. It's got solar. My electric bill the last 4 or 5 months was only $20 or like $18. So that's how much it is to be connected to the electric grid. So basically, I've been producing enough power to offset my demand. So that's been pretty cool.
Very nice.
The coolest thing living here is just figuring out how to make things multi-use. So like, if I install anything, it's got to have like multiple purposes. It's got to be like really fit the space. Otherwise, it's a waste of space. So embracing that minimalism. I've been buying way less things like junk that I need. I've been a smarter consumer. Let's put it that way.
I like that.
Things have to be like very multi-purpose and valuable. Otherwise, I don't buy it.
I love that. We should all probably think about, I tried to do that, but it's hard when you actually have closets in your house where you can just put things in. Like, do I really
Yeah.
need that? I don't know.
I don't have much closet space with the 600 square foot here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I had in my notes when we talked before, you talked about the International Society of Sustainability Professionals.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that something else that students could explore, like kind of in advance, just to learn more about careers and what's out there?
Yeah. So that's something I'm a part of. So I'm a member. It's like $100 a year to be a member, maybe 150. And then you're part of a network of other sustainability professionals. And also there's a sustainability certificate, or it's a sustainability professional or associate. There's basically like two things you can go after. And I'm looking at doing one of those programs, to be like a certified sustainability professional through the ISSP. Yeah, it's another group. If you're considering sustainability or green jobs specifically, it could be something to look out for.
Are there any prerequisites for that? Or could you just, if you have an interest, go kind of self-guide your way through that?
Anybody can join. I mean, even in high school, I mean, you could probably go ahead and join as a member. And so yeah, there's no prerequisites or requirements.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So we are coming up on our time. So I'll ask one of my favorite final questions. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you were in high school?
Ooh, I guess I would say I would have maybe potentially gone to a different school. I loved Holy Cross. But if I had known I was going to be, so, developed in this sustainability, in this green job, I potentially would have chose a different school right out of high school. I don't have any regrets because I went to Holy Cross, I stayed in town, and I actually ended up playing on the golf team. I guess if I could go back, I would have considered some schools that fit more with what I'm doing now. Because I guess I kind of went more of the general route. Holy Cross is a liberal arts school. And I wasn't able to focus in sustainability. They didn't have any programs at that time. So it would have been beneficial to do like a sustainability program right out of high school. But again, it's not like a big regret. It's just more like if I could go back.
Which maybe, we can't. So.
Yeah, we can't. Maybe I would have gone to like, Stanford or somewhere in California and gotten more in the weeds on environmental topics and stuff.
Yeah, right. So there's no wasted education. There's no wasted experience or education.
Right. And now that I have my connection with Holy Cross College, I've stayed involved with the school, and I have been talking to them about solar and renewable energy and sustainability. So Holy Cross is like less than 1,000 students. So it's, the faculty is great there. So I have been able to hopefully encourage them to consider a sustainability program or doing actually like renewables at the school. So there has been a benefit, to going to a smaller school like Holy Cross.
Awesome. And I lied because there is going to be just one more question. So for anybody who's going to watch this video or listening in live right now, where do you see the highest need in the jobs that touch innovators, like the solar jobs, for talent, that people, how could people prepare for that and go to work quickly? Obviously you only need so many salespeople, but you need all different kinds of jobs within Innovatus. But what are the jobs where you could get your foot in the door and really get started and then work your way up? Would you recommend working on installs like as an assistant? How would what's the best way to get into that?
Yeah, one way would be working with a solar installer and to like, if you really see yourself growing into the solar industry, starting from the ground up, like me, I started in the warehouse, or you could start at the job sites, and actually get hands-on with the materials, like how the technology works and building it. And then you could grow from there, with the solar company. Also, there's a lot of intern type roles within like sales and marketing departments of solar companies. And one role that's always been important at Innovative Solar is like technical sales, somebody that's like interested in like how things work, almost like it's like a hybrid between engineering and sales. Sometimes the engineering department doesn't always talk to the sales department, so like, but if you have somebody in a technical sales role, they're working with a lot of the people in the company, the different departments, and you're a little bit more in the weeds of like how things work and how the technology works. And then you can help talk to the customers on like how these things actually work, and picking this equipment over that equipment, in terms of efficiencies and stuff like that.
Oh, great. And you could probably learn a lot of that working in install. Like there's lots of baseline information you could pick up, I would think.
Yeah. So like technical sales, inside sales, roles like that are out there. And just interning with any solar company or renewable energy company, I think is a great way to just learn a lot about what's going on and what area of the company you might gravitate towards, to figure out where, if you started full-time there, which department you'd want to work in.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So our time is up. I might have gone over. I get a little too chatty, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking the time and for sharing your story, letting our audience know about the great opportunities in sustainable energy, which I think will just continue to grow in our area and across the state. There's a real commitment to this, and it's an exciting time for those who are interested in being a part of some of our solutions for climate change and sustainability. And it's great to have that out there. So students, a reminder to be sure to check out all the Manufacturing Day career chats we'll be adding to the landing page. You can learn from other employers, educators, and community partners who are providing career pathways support and opportunities for our region. And share what you find interesting with the adults in your life. If you're a high school student, you might actually have adults in your life who'd be also interested in learning more about this. Again, thanks, Tyler. Appreciate you being a part of Manufacturing Days, and look forward to our paths crossing soon.
Thanks for having me. And I shared a link that shows the growth in solar in Indiana, if anybody wants to check that out, because it is quite phenomenal how much it has grown over the past couple of years in Indiana.
Awesome. Thank you. And it'll just keep growing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.